The final round at Bay Hill was shaping up to be an absolute classic. Daniel Berger was desperately clinging to a razor-thin, one-shot lead over a charging Russell Henley. Just behind them, Shane Lowry was lurking only 2 strokes back, hunting for a signature win. It was exactly the kind of nail-biting, high-stakes Sunday drama that makes the Arnold Palmer Invitational so incredibly special. But while the network cameras and the roaring crowds focused entirely on the leaders battling it out down the stretch, something else was quietly happening further down the fairway. Something that has the entire golf world questioning everything they thought they knew about the integrity of the game. Tiger Woods, watching closely from his Jupiter Island compound, has reportedly obtained hard evidence of a rules violation so egregious, so incredibly blatant, that it could completely change the outcome of the tournament. And the player at the center of this brewing storm? It's a name you would absolutely never expect. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for the full, shocking story of the cheating scandal that just exploded at Bay Hill. The 2026 Arnold Palmer Invitational was supposed to deliver a Sunday for the ages. Daniel Berger, the 32-year-old Florida State alum seeking his 5th PGA Tour victory, carried the weight of a one-shot lead over Russell Henley into the brutally difficult final round. Shane Lowry, still carrying the fresh mental scars of his Cognizant Classic collapse, was just 2 shots back and hungry for ultimate redemption. With a dozen top-tier players within striking distance, Bay Hill's notoriously treacherous back nine was ready to decide everything. But while the main cameras followed the leaders, and while the broadcasters built inspiring narratives around Berger's quest for glory and Lowry's search for peace, a much darker storyline was unfolding on a different part of the course. Something that would soon overshadow the entire tournament. According to multiple inside sources, a highly respected player in contention committed a rules violation so blatant that it was accidentally captured on high-definition broadcast cameras. The violation occurred on the notorious 12th hole, the exact same treacherous par 3 where so many Bay Hill dreams have gone to die. And the player involved either didn't realize or simply didn't care that the lenses were watching his every move. The 12th hole at Bay Hill is one of those terrifying places where tournaments go to die. It's a punishing 208-yard par 3, heavily guarded by deep water on the left and unforgiving bunkers on the right. It has claimed more victims than almost any other hole on the property. Players know that mere survival, not heroics, is the ultimate goal here. But on Sunday, one player decided to play hero from a terrible spot. According to multiple sources who have thoroughly reviewed the raw footage, the incident occurred when the player's tee shot found a brutally difficult buried lie in the thick Florida rough just off the green. What happened next is now the subject of intense, microscopic scrutiny. High-definition broadcast cameras captured the player grounding his club in what tour officials are officially calling a highly unusual manner. Rule 8.1 strictly prohibits deliberately improving the area of intended swing. When the footage is slowed down and analyzed frame by frame, it clearly appears to show the player deliberately pressing down on the thick grass directly behind his ball, in a way that could only be interpreted as illegally improving his lie. Further complicating this massive controversy, the player's caddy can be seen subtly stepping into the frame, shifting his weight and appearing to intentionally shield the action from certain camera angles. Whether this was a coordinated, intentional block or purely coincidental is now a major part of the ongoing investigation. The player then executed a near-perfect, miraculous chip to within 3 feet and saved his par. That single par save crucially kept him within striking distance of the lead as the intense back nine unfolded. By the time he signed his scorecard and walked off the property, the violation had gone completely unnoticed by the on-course officials and the live broadcasters alike. The player likely assumed his day was done and his paycheck was secure. But down in Jupiter Island, someone was watching. Tiger Woods, recovering from his latest back surgery, had the tournament playing on the screens in his home. He saw the exact same live footage that millions of other fans saw. But unlike millions of others, Tiger's legendary eye for detail caught the subtle movement. He recognized immediately what had just happened. Tiger's eye for detail is simply unmatched, one tour source said. He saw something in real time that absolutely everyone else missed. Without his immediate intervention, this probably never gets caught. Within hours of Tiger spotting the infraction, urgent word reached PGA Tour officials. By Sunday evening, a quiet, high-stakes investigation was already underway. And by Monday morning, the golf world would slowly learn that the final round they thought they'd witnessed wasn't the whole story. Monday morning arrived at the PGA Tour headquarters in Ponte Vedra Beach with a heavy, familiar sense of urgency. The Rules Committee convened an emergency closed-door session to review the damning evidence, interview the player in question, and determine whether a severe penalty should be assessed. The process is painstakingly meticulous. It involves 4K frame-by-frame video analysis, deep consultation with broadcast partners who have access to raw camera angles the tour doesn't normally see, and separate intense interviews with the player, his caddy, and any available bystanders. The tour takes these matters extremely seriously. One official stated plainly, the absolute integrity of the competition is paramount. We will not rush to judgment, but we will not shy away from the hard facts. By Monday afternoon, a devastating preliminary finding had been reached. Sources confirmed that the Rules Committee determined there was clear and convincing visual evidence that a violation of Rule 8.1 had indeed occurred. The player had grounded his club in a deliberate manner that improved his lie, giving him a massive illegal advantage on the ensuing crucial chip shot. But here is where the situation gets incredibly complicated. Under the strict rules of golf, if a player is genuinely unaware they've committed a violation, the penalty is typically just 2 strokes. However, if the violation is deemed strictly intentional, if the player fully knew what they were doing and chose to cheat anyway, the penalty can be an immediate disqualification. Determining that internal intent is nearly impossible. The player aggressively insists he did absolutely nothing wrong. The caddy firmly backs his player's story. The video shows a physical action, but it cannot show the thoughts behind it. We're dealing with a very dark grey area. You can clearly see what happened in the grass, but you can't see inside his head. That's the ultimate challenge. The name of the accused player has been circulating like wildfire through tight-knit golf circles since Monday morning. Every golf journalist knows it. Every fellow player suspects it. But until the PGA Tour makes its final official announcement, the true identity remains one of the absolute worst-kept secrets in the history of the sport. According to multiple sources, the player at the center of this massive controversy finished well inside the top 10 at Bay Hill. His final round 68 was one of the best scores of the entire day, vaulting him high up the leaderboard and earning him a massive, life-changing paycheck. Without that shady par save on the 12th hole, his final score would have been at least 1 or 2 strokes higher, dropping him multiple positions on the board and costing him tens of thousands of dollars, not to mention vital FedEx Cup points. What makes this situation so incredibly shocking is the player's pristine reputation. He has been a staple on the PGA Tour for over a decade. He has won multiple prestigious events, contended deep into Sunday at major championships, and built a rock-solid reputation as one of the most respected stand-up guys in the locker room. He's just not the type of guy you'd ever expect to be involved in something as dirty as this, one veteran player told GolfSwingX on the strict condition of anonymity. That's exactly why everyone on tour is so stunned right now. If it was someone with a long history of sketchy behavior, it would be a totally different story. But this guy? It just doesn't make any sense. For the PGA Tour, this is a monumental test of leadership. How they handle this delicate situation will determine whether the players and the millions of fans watching at home can truly trust the integrity of the competition moving forward. A transparent, thorough investigation is absolutely essential. A rushed or secretive process will only pour gasoline on the fire and fuel endless conspiracy theories. And for Tiger Woods, this is yet another powerful reminder of his completely unique place in the game of golf. Even when he is not physically teeing it up, he is actively influencing outcomes, shaping global narratives, and fiercely protecting the honor of the sport he loves. The Arnold Palmer Invitational will have an official winner. The beautiful trophies will be handed out. The massive checks will be cashed. But for one specific player, this tournament will never be just another event on the schedule. It will forever be the exact moment everything changed. And the entire golf world will be holding its breath, watching to see exactly how it all ends. For more deep dive coverage of the biggest, most controversial stories in the world of golf, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.